I guess we may as well do like an overview on Terminator overall then first, right? Yeah, cool. Yeah, let's just do that then. This is going to be an overview on Terminator. How's it going, everyone? This is Mustard, and I've been playing quite a bit of the Terminator. He launched a few hours ago, and we've just been in training mode for pretty much that entire time, looking for some cool stuff and finding what we can. And of course, this is on the back of the fact that Ketchup and I were invited down by Warner Brothers UK to get some hands-on time with Terminator for the Choose Your Destiny that we made. But now the character is out, I want to talk a bit about the variations that Terminator has and what his tournament variations are. So if you want to know about like universal Terminator stuff, I urge you to go watch our Choose Your Destiny video, which is a tutorial that covered the basic fundamentals of Terminator. But now we've had some more time with the character, and obviously people have made some discoveries. There's quite a bit to talk about these three variations specifically. So starting off with Destroyer Terminator, this is his first tournament variation. This variation gets back forward for overhead move. I believe it's called. In fact, I'm just gonna put these on the screen so you can see them. You get these three moves. So you get Endo Lunge, which is this overhead. Cyber Rift, which is this low, and Infiltrator Toss, which is an anti-air grab, 8-frame startup. But these three moves together, I really feel like Destroyer Terminator is going to be the kind of like I don't want to say the simple Terminator, but it's the one that's easiest to understand. This variation of Terminator is about overhead low mix-ups, big damage, and launching combos. That is pretty much what this variation does. I'm going to make sure, okay, so Baraka's on auto. Endo Lunge is -6, so Endo Lunge is safe. Cyber Rift is not. So it's like the overhead is safe, the low isn't. So it's like one of those mix-ups where one of the options is safe, one is not. But there's a big difference. Like at first glance, I really don't know if this is going to be a true 50-50 because, I mean, they are. I mean, there's 6 frames time difference between them, but the animations are so dramatically different. I feel like this is going to be fuzzyable, but you know, especially early on when the character is new, this is going to hit a lot of people. Kind of throwing a low after things, throwing an overhead. The low does 80 damage, the overhead does 100. So you know, it's not it doesn't tickle. That's quite a lot of damage to it, and that's going to be something that will kind of keep people on their toes, keep them reacting. But the big stuff about this variation, in my opinion, is it's got absolutely giant combo damage off of a lot of his crushing blows because of Infiltrator Toss. This is an air grab that, you know, at first glance you'll think, okay, 8 frames, air grab, probably used for anti-air, right? This is mainly a combo tool as far as I can see, because you can combo into it if you launch your opponent with forward 3-2. You can go for this and then end in the command grab, and just that 1-bar combo by itself did 380 damage for just that. Forward 3-2, 1-2-1, forward 3-2, 1-2-1, Infiltrator Toss, standing 4, command grab. Getting the standing 4, I think, is optimal. I'll do back 1. Yeah, back 3-1 just to see. It doesn't even work. Okay. So I'm going to do 1-2-1, Infiltrator Toss, standing 4, command grab. There we go. And even that by itself is 380. But the crazy thing is, you can amplify Infiltrator Toss twice, which means that you could do combos like this. Look at that! 478 damage off of this! Off of this! It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but trust me, it's worth it. My goodness, does this do a lot of damage. Oh. Oh. Blimey, blimey, blimey. See if I can do it again. It's a little bit awkward, but for like max damage, you can get standing 4 a couple of times. I wonder if you just do standing 3 for easier ones. I'm gonna do standing 4, and then standing 3. Okay, it does. And then standing 4 again. I'm just gonna do standing 4 first, and then standing 3s, just for the sake of the video. Okay, you have to micro dash for the standing 3. Oh my goodness. Well, I showed it worked first time anyway. There we go, got it. So, I've not spent a huge amount of time in the lab, so don't be deterred by the fact that I'm not getting this every time. With a little bit of practice and muscle memory, you will get this quite consistently. But here's where it gets crazy. Terminator has so many launching, crushing blows that you get, like, massive damage off of everything. I've got easy crushing blows turned on, so I'm not going to have to hit the requirements, but this one launches. So, off your short hop, 460. Off of down 2. $510 off of 434. $500. And that's not even taking into account the fatal blow. What it pretty much means is, if you get a launching, crushing blow with a Terminator in Destroyer, you're gonna do like 500 damage. This is like Shao Kahn levels of massive damage, only for the Terminator. He has so many chances to get them, and these crushing blows aren't even hard to get either. Like, make just the 4 hit, the 4 by, the 4-3-4, just the, the second hit connects. That's safe. You can throw that out without having to worry about it. This going over a low attack, I can definitely see happening. Down 2s we see happen literally all the time. And if you have Fatal Blow, you can add even more damage on top of it. Let me see if I can do something here. Let's do down 2, because that's what we see happen the most. Okay, back 1, just to make sure it worked. Go try this off a higher damage normal after.
Get over here.
Haha. Ouch! So, this variation kind of does a lot of damage. And that really, I feel like, is the basic overview of Destroyer, right? You have what I do think is going to be a fuzzyable mix-up between overhead and low for decent damage. You're going to have the ability to turn anything that launches the opponent into Infiltrator Toss. So, anti-airs, air-to-airs, standing 4 launches them into Infiltrator Toss. So, if you're going to punish with like a 14-frame standing 4, you can go standing 4 straight into it. And, get a decent amount of damage. I mean, just... Wait, I've actually not even seen this combo before. I wonder how much this is going to do. Probably at least 500, right? Yeah, easy. Wow, and then some. So this variation is going to do a lot of damage off of pretty much everything that you're going to hit, right? If you launch them in any way, off of this, jump kicks, air-to-airs, anti-airs, crushing blow, which he has in spades, you're going to be doing an absolute ton of damage in the process while you do it. That takes me on to the end of Destroyer. Let's have a look at the second variation. Dark Fate. This is the command grab version of Terminator. Talk about the down 3. We did cover it in the Choose Your Destiny, but not so much for the anti-airs. I will talk about it in this one, though, for sure. So, Dark Fate Terminator is the second variation. This is the command grab. So, this variation of Terminator gets... Well, I say the command grab. I guess the slightly different kind of command grab, I should say. You get 3 moves. You get the RB Backbreaker, which is an alternate version of the command grab. So this variation lets you choose the direction. You can go forward. You can go back. When you amplify it, it goes back. And when you go forward, and when you amplify it forward, you will do the enhanced damage version and then throw them forward. This will crushing blow if you do the 3 versions. So if you do forward, back, amplify forward, and then do the normal amplify, it will then crushing blow and launch. That does mean that if you are willing to, if you have this crushing blow loaded, you then get access to a huge damage payout that you can do at any point. So if you have the crushing blow loaded, you can decide to, whereas Destroyer has to spend 2 bars to get massive damage all the time, if you have the Backbreaker crushing blow loaded, you can do something like this. And then that's 1 bar, almost 500 damage there. But, you know, for 1 bar and 1 crushing blow used, you get that much. It's very easy to build up that crushing blow, given the fact that you can end combos in it. It ticks off of, like, your down 1. I should make him auto block, actually, just to see it. There we go. So if you're going to hit this, you'll tick. If you want to end combos in it, you can do that. Actually, what's the best version? Back 1, maybe? Let me try back 1. That's a bit of an awkward input. But if you get a combo, go for the RB Backbreaker as the ender, and it's going to work that way. Running Man gives you this running attack. You get a mid command grab. You get a safe mid big boot. You get a launching 2, which is also safe, but if you hit your opponent with it, launches them into the air. Mid screen, I don't know if you can combo mid screen. I haven't found anything yet myself. And if it's possible, it's definitely going to be quite tight. But in the corner, you do get combos from this. So again, you can end in the backbreaker and build towards a crushing blow. But the big thing about the command grab from Running Man is it's a mid and it comes from a stance. So in theory, you can turn anything on block into Running Man and threaten a command grab. These aren't true ticks a lot of the time. Like, for example, if I take control of Baraka and make him go for example, let's say 1-2-1 into the running command grab, on block, I will be able to interrupt him with a button. If he thinks I'm gonna do that and decides to, I'm getting confused. There we go. If he thinks I'm going to do that and decides to do something else and goes to the big boot, let's try that again. I'm going to go 1-2-1 big boot off the stance. I'm going to interrupt it again because this isn't real. So, you can't throw it out after everything and get away with it. Your opponent, has to be paying attention. But there are certain exceptions here. From what I found so far, forward 4 Running Man on block is a true tick. If I try and press a button, it'll get counter hit and I'll lose. So if I try and do anything, I have to jump. If I think he's going to tick off of this, I have to jump. Obviously, jump back and hit him, punish him with whatever. But he's on the floor, so it's going to be a really weird punish. But he's down there for a long time, so I think you have time to just do it, and then you can just standing button him on the way up. So it's very unsafe to do this, but you get the option to go for this stance after any button. And some of them aren't real, and some of them are. The exception here is like so for example, forward 4 is a true tick. If I try and go for forward 4 Running Man big boot, that's also going to be a block string. I can't interrupt. I'm going to mash for my life and nothing's going to come out. I'm going to lose every time. If I try and jump the command grab, the big boot's going to hit me. So this is a true mix-up between forward 4 command grab or forward 4 big boot. The big boot is safe and will catch jumps. And it's also a mid, so I don't think I can, crouch it. So that's a true mix-up. And it's the same thing off of standing 4. So if I go standing 4 Running Man tackle, on hit, that's going to combo. And on block, it's a true tick throw. And standing 4 Running Man big boot is on hit, a combo, and on block, a true frame trap. So that's something to watch out for. And as the Terminator player, you're going to have to really try and condition them to go for those. And really, again, in theory, you can go for Running Man off of anything. You just have to know off of what options Running Man, off of what standing string options the Running Man buttons are real and which ones they aren't. But that's cool because obviously Running Man, it can be cancelled, so you can use it for like, full screen way in, run in. For one bar of defense being spent, that's not too bad. But it does give you some huge damage output, especially with I'll Be Backbreaker. You do get Death Grip, which is an air grab, so it's not the best move in the world, but it is there. It does a nice amount of damage by itself. I don't really know where you would use this all the time, unless you go for like instant anti-airs maybe with it. I know sometimes air throws do work in that sense, but it can be amplified as well for big advantage. So if I get it and amplify, might take me a little bit to figure out. There we go. I'm gonna amplify it. Your plus, I mean, it didn't give me a number, but you are plus as hell. Let me just make him jump so I can at least show you the visuals to it. So if I amplify, yeah. So you are plus. It's a little bit. It's mainly a restand is the air grab, whereas the command grab in the first variation normally, or not even the first variation, but the universal command grab is for advantage. This one I think is just for a restand. But a restand when you have options like the Running Man stance, the utility of the I'll Be Backbreaker. All in all, I think it works quite well together. But before I move on from this, I want to show you some of the damage output that is possible in Dark Fate. Again, this might not even be optimal. It's just stuff that I found myself after a little bit of time. If you have the I'll Be Backbreaker Crushing Blow launched, and for example, if you have the Shotgun Crushing Blow launched, or locked, I should say, which is with 2 of these. So if this misses twice, and your third one, is ready to go, For example, if they're crouching and you miss 2 of these high projectiles, your next one will crushing blow. So if I combo into it, for example, let me just show this. So whiff 2, hit him with this, it will crushing blow for big unbreakable damage. You can actually combo into that quite well in this variation, because if you get, let's make sure easy crushing blows are turned on, good. If you get like down 2 crushing blow and combo into this crushing blow, and then get vac 1 shotgun crushing blow, that's 580 damage, 3 crushing blows used. Which, you know, I would say balances out, because yes, it's huge damage, but it's 3 one-time resources. But if you have like fatal blow and 2 crushing blows, you could do some pretty crazy stuff. And then just standing for fatal blow. There we go. This is going to do quite a bit. This is going to do quite a bit of damage.
Get over here.
Ooh! 669 damage, my friends. That's how much that did. And I don't even know if that's optimal. To be honest, it probably isn't. But if I found this after a little bit of time, imagine what you guys can find with even more. So, in summary, Dark Fate Terminator really is... It's the command grab variation. I know universally he has a grab, but this variation is really built around them. Mainly around Running Man and its options. You know, it really is going to be about conditioning people, you know, making reads with Running Man on block. You know, doing it off of Big Boot, doing it off of Standing 4, doing it off of other strings. And really testing whether your opponent is going to interrupt, whether they're not going to, you know. I imagine that there is a lot of stuff to be found with cancelling the Running Man stance as well, but right now I haven't found anything airtight, but I'm sure stuff will crop up. But as a basic overview, that's what you're looking at for Dark Fate. It's going to do big damage if you have the Backbreaker, Crushing Blow loaded. It's going to get decent corner combo options, and it's going to get some real utility using the Running Man's just general movement speed, the safe Big Boot, the mid command grab, which also, the mid command grab, if you hit from max range, if I quickly turn off easy crushing blows, hit it from like, it says max range, but it's mainly run time. If you run for the most time and then go for the amplified version, it will crushing blow. Stand on the gonads, that's probably demonetized the video, thanks YouTube. And this actually has some setup time, because this is based on run time, not distance stun. If you go for like 1-2-1 Big Boot and then backdash and then run and then you amplify it, that will set up nicely for the crushing blow to trigger. So based on where you hit them and what your enders are, if you knock them full distance, that can set up for the Running Man crushing blow grab quite well. But that's it for Dark Fate. Let's move on to the third variation, shall we? Final Judgment. Now, Variation 3. So, Variation 3 Terminator, Final Judgment, is about 2 moves. You have the Incapacitator and the Rolling Ion Grenade. The big thing off the bat is you lose the shotgun. The Incapacitator replaces it. It's a 3% unblockable high projectile that... As long as this glowing effect is on them, they are unable to use their meter in any way. They can't go for wake-up attacks. They can't wake-up roll. Let's make them go for wake-up up 3. Right? There it is. If you sit with this, he can't spend his bar. So the AI is trying to wake-up attack and physically can't. That is super cheap, but you have to implement it in the right way. Again, it is unblockable, so, you know, if they're trying to block, if they... You know, if you throw this on block and they stand block, it's going to hit them. Like, for example, if I'm the Bracker player and let's say a Terminator player just goes for 1-2-1 this on block. If I stand block the whole thing, it hits me. But if I don't think you're ever jailed into blocking it. There may be some exceptions. Like here, if I stand block the whole thing and then crouch, I get hit. But if I crouch block after already blocking it, I can let go, right? If I crouch block during the 1-2-1, I can do it, but if I crouch block at the end, it hits me. I don't know at this moment in time if there are any guaranteed ways to set this up on block. I imagine there won't be, but never say never. But the big thing about this grenade is, and actually before I go into that detail, the Rolling Ion Grenade, which is this, you throw it 3 ranges, you have close, normal, and far. You just fling it real far away. After a short delay, it will explode, and then you've got this big, you know, big launch effect off of it. If you amplify this, it just detonates the second it hits the ground, which means that this variation of Terminator gets to have the option to turn any of his main buttons into a launching combo option. You'll notice the damage is considerably lower than the rest of the variations. I think that is kind of balancing out. If you're going to launch off of more, you're not going to do as much damage as the other ones, really. But the big thing about this variation is it comes with a need to micromanage. You have the Incapacitator and the Rolling Iron Grenade. They both are resources that you don't have an infinite amount of. If you notice on, like, the right side of Terminator, it's like it's on your left right now, but he has these grenades kind of on his belt. You only have 2 of those at any time, and after a set amount of time, they will begin to recharge. It doesn't take them long to come back. But Brandon Undead, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, my friend. Welcome to the Takunin, my dude. Thank you very much. But if you use a grenade after a set amount of time, in fact, let's see. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so pretty much after 5 seconds, the grenade will come back. See if it's the same for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's a little bit longer for the ion grenades, but after a set amount of time, they will regenerate. But this does mean that you can't just constantly go for these and throw them out. You have to make sure you know how much you have, otherwise you'll end up... Because if I have none left, and I try and throw one, I just don't get a special. I'm just sitting here and I'm just looking like an idiot, throwing ones that don't matter. Filthy Francia, thank you for the tier 1 sub, my friend. Thank you for joining us, my dude. I appreciate that a lot. But it does mean that you obviously have to be careful. Like the air grab in Destroyer, you can go for 2 rolling iron grenade launches per combo. So if I go for like this into itself again, and you hit it properly, again, this is, you have to kind of know what... I'll go in the corner so it's easier to demonstrate what I'm trying to show here. And then let's say saying 4, there you go. You can go for 2 of them in a combo to get a bit more damage, but that does mean that, again, you can't use anything else. The one I'm seeing people talk about the most right now is confirm into Iron Grenade, and then... so confirm into Iron Grenade, and then go... I'm just going to do something a bit easier. And then go for this, so they can't wake up attack. So you're going to end everything possible in Incapacitator, which gives you setup and Oki. And that is what this variation is built for. This variation is a bit trickier than variation 1 and 2. It does less damage overall, but you're going to be having a lot more momentum, you know? Because, again, universally, you have a lot of launching, crushing blows with the Terminator. And being able to... Make sure this is turned on. There we go. Being able to launch into, you know, a bar spent here. I think you have to do a micro dash for this to work, I believe. There you go. And then this. You're obviously doing much less damage, but you are going to be able to keep momentum going. You know, if someone knows they can't wake up because they've got this on them, they can't roll, they can't wake up attack. Their only choice is delay wake up or not delay wake up. And if you've gone for this, and you get the micro dash standing 3 ion, and then let's say 1, 2, 1. Yeah, that'll work. You're obviously not very close, but they can't wake up. There is one thing you can do with Final Judgment. Remember what I said before about back 1 having a preset kind of like juggle state if you special cancel it? That means that it's a low damage, but probably highest advantage version to do. Like if I make him wake up attack with the up 3 here, if I go for this combo and I try and push advantage using something that does a bit more damage, you'll notice that I'm going to get hit by his wake up attack. So if I go 1, 2, 1 this, and I try and push in, like he gets a button off, right? So if I'm a bit closer, that button's going to hit me. I'm not really at an advantage to push it. But if I want close range, if I want to stay close and keep advantage, I could do this combo instead. Back 1 Incapacitator, and now here we go. I'm much closer. Because back 1 Incapacitator, you're closer and you have way more advantage. So back 1 Incapacitator, here you go. Much better. You know, much better for offense because you're doing less damage, but you're up close, you're keeping it going, keeping the momentum, and that's what I think this variation is built to do. This is a variation about kind of more consistent combos and launching options through the Ion Grenade, but Incapacitator for just keeping momentum, taking away their options, and pretty much just keeping the snowball rolling. I believe you can go for, if I make him not wake up attack here, I believe there is potential for the Ion Grenade to be used for slight setup as well. I don't know much about what will actually work. But if you do go for, like, let's say I launch you with this, and I will go for the close version. As you get up off the ground, obviously that's behind you. So in theory, if they're going to block on wake up, that is something they have to worry about. So let's go for something simple. If it's close enough anyway. I wonder what the best option will be here is. Like that maybe. There you go, see? So if you can throw that on them, I think that kind of goes hand in hand, that if you've used enough incapacitators to make them really not want to wake up, they're not trying to roll, they kind of understand that, oh no, he's hit me, I'm gonna have to sit here and block something, so let me just wake up with block. As soon as you have them, like, but if I hit someone with this, let's say if I hit someone with this, and they're like, oh no, incapacitator, I can't do wake up attacks, and they expect the incapacitator, and you go for something like this, obviously now they're off the ground, that's going to be there, they're not going to be doing a wake-up attack if you've conditioned them. And these are just kind of early ideas, you know, in my head. You know, imagine if you've put even more lab time into this, and more setup-minded players that are looking at this variation will find. I think there's a lot of potential for some real cheap stuff here. But hopefully you guys have fun with it and enjoy it, and that's pretty much it for Final Judgment. That does cover all 3 variations now, so if you do have any more questions, feel free to chuck a comment and we'll chat about it. But these are my early opinions and early findings after a couple of hours of lab time with the Terminator. I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's clearly pretty good. I think he's going to be a real threat in this current state, unless some like glaring weaknesses are discovered. But right now it's looking like he's... it's going to be pretty good. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you next time. Have fun with the Terminator.